when my headphones are on, that's a sign that I am working for something important.
Time for lunch.
Everybody, welcome Mahnoor.
Yeah, thank you. So hello, everybody. I am Mahnoor Fatima, and I'm working as a technical lead at MRS Technologies. And I have over around 5 years of experience. So I have worked in different type of high. Andrea has raised his hand. Do you have anything to say?
No, it was just I wanted to send the reaction hi to you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much, Andrea. Hi. Basically, I have been working on very high priority tasks and high priority projects in which the deadlines are very tough. As we all know that working in technology sector has a lot of pressure with it, and we have very close deadlines and we have to meet them. So I have faced that during all of these years. One thing which is very important for any individual to work in technology sector is how well we do perform in pressure, because with every project there is a certain type of pressure. It's and everyone has to deal with pressure both in their personal and as well as professional lives. So basically, mainly in the workplace, the pressure often manifests in itself in the form of tight deadlines, demands from the boss, employee performance issues, and there are other obstacles that get in the way of you doing your job. So as I have worked in technology and I have seen that the stress is unavoidable. So for us, it's important to learn how to channel and deal with it in a healthy and productive way. So in doing so, you will not only survive through the tough situations in technology, but you will thrive and you will do really emerge as a leader and emerge truly as someone who can other look upon in a team. So it's really important to strategize and develop a habit of how positively work under pressure, and do not lose your nerves and don't underperform and undermine yourself. But there are certain tips which I'm going to share, which I have implemented in my work life, and I think that they have really created a positive impact in my workplace and in my work projects. So number one thing is that a prioritization strategy is very important. You have to prioritize your tasks. Like from the day one of in technology, we work in sprints. Like I usually work in every project in different sprints. So from day one of the sprint or day one of your project, you have to prioritize your tasks. So you have to assess each task on your list, and you have to ask yourself that is the task important to you? Will it relieve pressure on clear space in your day? Does it move you or your company forward? If not, ask whether you can delegate to someone else, or you can delegate it at a later stage of your day or at a later stage of your sprint, or if that task can be postponed or eliminated. So the main goal is that give yourself permission to say no to incoming tasks and don't meet your prioritization criteria, so you can say yes to better things. So it's very important in my point of view. You always have to prioritize your task, and you have to see which tasks have a higher priority and which tasks have a lower priority. So start with the highest one, and then eventually move to the high one, and then the medium, and then the low priority tasks. In this way, if if there are some tasks remaining in the sprint or whatever Kanban you're following, so in that case, in the end, there are the low priority tasks, and that will not affect a lot on your project or a lot on your timeline. But if there are the high task priority, high priority task pending, then it will really create a lot of pressure on you, and you will be hustling here and there. So it's really important to prioritize all of your tasks can start with the highest one. And then the other thing is that forget the future and just focus on the present. One way to be better under pressure is to pull back, slow down, and stop thinking about the future deadline or the work that needs to be done. So just make a quick checklist of the three things you need to do next towards the deadline and do them with a very calm and a very in the moment, staying in the moment type of strategy. So courage is about taking the next hard step. It's about being present and moving forward in a phase of fear and uncertainty. Because certainly in technology, especially because I have been working in technology, there is a lot of uncertainty that whether we can do that task, whether it is achievable, or how we are going to go about it. But you have to just be in the present and just focus on the task on hand and just look forward to it and not think much about the future. So it will really help, because staying in the moment is really the key in any field. Next, the important thing is that you have to break down your tasks. So any project or task can seem overwhelming when looked as a whole. Like if we see on the bigger picture, it seems very overwhelming. So it seems like it's critical, it's very tough. But what we have to do is to break it down into milestones or steps that can easily be attained. When you look at these individual milestones, you can more readily meet goals and feel a sense of accomplishment. So basically, seeing yourself completing the project into also builds confidence in giving yourself a system to use. So basically, when you break the task into smaller chunk of pieces and you complete a one chunk, two chunk, then there is a sense of accomplishment within you, and now you see that now you can achieve it. And you can also show your breakdown structure to your team members, so they can know that how far you have come into the task or project, and then they will be also saying that your efforts and what are you up to. So it really helps in this way. There will not be a lot of pressure because you're also doing the task, you're also showing your team that what are you up to, and in the end you're also gaining the confidence, and the task is also under the completion pipeline. So another important thing is that you have to ask yourself what need to be done right now. So under a deadline or in a river, as Sun Tzu of the Art of the War would say, ask yourself what needs to be done now. So when the stakes are high, roll up your sleeves and focus up on the important tasks. So get outside help, traverse each and everything you have to do, but you have to ask for the help. Like you just can't do a work on upon your own. Like if you're working in a team, you have to ask your team members. They maybe have a smarter way of doing that, and in that way the task can be done right now rather than procrastinating it. So my next point is that you have to stop procrastinating. Like what I have seen in my 5-year journey of technological career, that pressure almost always comes because you have failed to prioritize and act. You likely procrastinated, and now you are paying the price. So procrastination is simply a habit and can be broken. First, ask yourself what you are resisting, then see if you can give up your resistance and simply act. Interrupting the procrastination habit frequently will lead to a new and more empowering habit of execution. So you just have to stop procrastinating. It's a habit, and it's a very many people are already procrastinating. So what you have to do is you have to start the task, finish it, like give it 10 minutes. Initially you will feel like not working on the task, but then when you give it 10 minutes, then you will see that the task is comparatively easier than what you were thinking. Then give it 10 more minutes, and you would like to give 10 more minutes, and so on. So basically it's a chain. If you just start working on the task, you just feel like completing it. So in that way you will feel like you don't feel like procrastinating, and you will have an urge to complete the task. So the next point is that you have to change how you think about pressure. So the hardest part of working under pressure is coping with the perception of pressure. Most often than not, we worry about some imaginary catastrophe that never happens, and that tends to render us powerless. Focus on one aspect of the task at a time instead of looking at it in its totality. If you make a list of every step and use a paint by numbers approach, you will be fine. So you just have to think about it, like you have to think about it in a very positive way. Staying positive under pressure is very important. If you follow all of the points and now you are just thinking about like what is the outcome, what if I don't make it through, what if I don't complete the task, so that is the real problem. In that scenario, what you are going to do is you are creating an imaginary catastrophe in your mind, which that is not going to happen. So you just have to stop thinking about it and start working on your task. You just don't have to think that what if this happens, what if that happens, because nothing will actually happen if you start working and start staying focused. So that is the key. You just have to stay focused, be in a moment, stop thinking about the pressure or external influences, and then just work on the task, and it eventually, which will not create pressure at all. And there is another model, which is Eisenhower model. So which states that when facing multiple competing and high priority tasks, start by determining which of these tasks need immediate attention and get clarity on the deadlines for each. Then use the SAMOR model, which consists of 4 easy steps to prioritize each. Use number 1, urgent and important. Number 2, important but not urgent. Number 3, urgent but not important. And number 4, neither urgent not important. If you just classify and prioritize all of your tasks in these 4 model, in these 4 steps, then you can perform the urgent and immediate task first. Tasks that are not urgent with no priority fall off the list. It's an amazing way. Basically, it's a really amazing way. I have been following this model, and I really believe that it's really easy. It does ease the pressure. Like you do the urgent and immediate task first, and then you eventually move to the other tasks. So it's really at the end of the day, you have the remaining tasks which are not urgent with no priority of all of the list. So basically it really helps you to be not under pressure of the deadline or the release, and you are like you can say your stakeholders that you have completed the most urgent and immediate tasks, and the non-urgent and non-immediate tasks can be like drop down from the list, or can be like easily be workable without any pressure. So another thing is that you have to think as a pressure, because pressure in technology is unavoidable. In any stage of your project deliverable, you can face pressure from the client, from the other stakeholders. So it's an unavoidable. You have to like get used to of that pressure. You have to make a strategy, and you have to implement that strategy in your daily work life, in your day-to-day work, so that you can like use this pressure as an opportunity to grow. So the more you find yourself being pushed on the wall, it's better you become at pushing back. So it's natural human tendency, believe me. The more you push back, the more your energy expands. So when that happens, your horizons broaden and your perception changes dramatically. So wonder, I believe me, working under pressure seems like a challenge too tempting to resist. So once you get used to it, once you get used to the challenges of technology sector, the challenges of day-to-day life, the challenges of your project's completion, and etc., you really you will really like working under pressure, and you will feel like that there is no work without pressure. If you have a pressure, of work, and you have all of the points which I have discussed in detail, I believe that you are really going to work under pressure. So that's the few techniques which I have shared with you. And I hope all of you have learned something from it. But the main thing is that you just have to stay calm and just plan from day first of the project. Don't procrastinate, and don't put things on the last day. Like I have 2 week sprint, so usually it's been 2 years since I'm working as a technology in this project. So initially what I used to do was that I used to do less priority task in first week, and then the high priority task in the last week. So the high priority tasks have many if and buts. So in that case, the 1 week in the last week, like in a 2 week sprint, the last week was very were contained of pressure and tough deadlines and extra sittings and stuff like that. So I rethink about all of the procedure which I'm doing, and I thought that what I'm doing wrong, and then I got to know that this is what I'm doing wrong. I am just not prioritizing my tasks. Like I am putting the low priority task in my bucket list in for the first week, which is like laid down, like it's a very easy, relatively easier week. We don't have enough pressure of deadline and release. So I'm putting the high priority task in the second week. So in that way, I re-strategized my priority list, and I just make a priority, and I make sure that at the end of first week, I am at a point where all of the high priority tasks are moved to done, and I'm left with a very not very important task. So I have a last week, I have other tasks to do, like release planning, like release build planning, etc. So in that last week, what I have to do is now I have to completely easily, calmly have to perform all of the remaining tasks, and now I move forward with a very I don't have a very pressure of my high priority task, and in that way I'm not procrastinating. I'm doing the task every day, and eventually I meet my goal. So that's it. So I have now that's it from my side. So I will be really happy to answer your questions, and I'm seeing some questions also in the chat. So if you have any question, please feel free to drop in the chat, or unmute yourself and ask me. So there is already one question from Stefan. It's, how do you protect yourself from being distracted or interrupted by others co-workers? Yeah, that's really nice question. And I also have faced a lot of many times because if you're working from office, or even working from home, there are a lot of distractions or interruptions by others. So you just have to stay focused, and you just have to if you're in office, I usually do what I go into the small cabinet and for focused work. You just don't have to be rude with your colleagues or your co-workers. You just have to say that sorry, I just have a small deadline, I have to meet it, so I'm not going to with you lunch with you outside, or I'm not taking that break, so I just have to focus. And when you are not in that focused time, or you don't have a special deadline, then you can just like catch up with your colleagues and co-workers, etc. So it's all about priorities, that at the moment, what is more important to you, like your project, or if there is a tough deadline, if that's more important, or if then there is nothing very important, like important deadline, then you can just say yes to your colleagues and go out and have fun. So it's really important to build a good work relationship with all of your co-workers. Never be rude to them, never say anything which hurts their sentiments, because when you're working like as a family, like you're spending 8 to 9 hours with your co-workers. So be nice to them, spend time with them, but make your priority if you have a deadline, then don't get distracted. Make a list, to-do list at the start of the day, and just check them eventually throughout the day. And when you are done, you can just have fun with them. So yeah, that was really nice question. Anything else or any else question?
Maybe I have a follow-up question. So do you have any cues for your coworkers when you are ready to be, when it's okay to interrupt you and when it's not? Like, I don't know, wearing headphones or a special do not disturb hat, or what do you do?
So I wear my headphones and I have a sticky note with me. Or usually I go into the conference room for like completely focused work. They know that my team knows that now I have some meetings or some important task at hand. So these are few techniques which I use. But generally, what I do is when my headphones are on, that's a sign that I am working for something important, because I may be in a meeting or I may be in like a very focused work. So that's why I'm not able to communicate with my coworkers. So that's a very important point, and you have to clearly give a signal to your coworkers that you are working currently. You can just wear a headphone like me, or you can just add a sticky note on your desk that you are working on a high priority task, so don't disturb your, and or you can go in on a focused area like a conference room or like certain or a certain place where the outside noise is not disturbing you. So in that way, everyone get a signals that okay, our coworker is busy, so let's not disturb him or her. So yeah, there are certain techniques which you can follow to show everyone that you are working on a high priority task and you need a focused area and a focused time for it.
How about the others? Do you have any techniques or ideas how to focus during work? Or what is your habit to when you're trying to get something done?
When I was in university, I kind of established something with the people I worked together there, which was essentially whenever any one of us was working somewhere and someone else approached, the guy who was actually working on something just raised their left finger, their left hand, and pointing out upwards with the left finger, which meant, at least for us, I heard you, I saw you, I will come back to you as soon as I'm finished. And that way everybody knew, okay, that guy acknowledged me, he will come back to me, everything is fine, I will leave him for now. Obviously, this is kind of a rather subtle hint, which many outsiders didn't get, but I think if you are established in a team and you communicate right in the beginning that this is the sign, please don't disturb me now, I will come back to you, I acknowledge you, this could also work. And the cool thing is, you don't even have to kind of try to artificially isolate you from things. So like wearing headphones, going outside of the room, you can stick your eyes to the monitor if you're working on the computer. Just with a simple sign, other person hopefully gets the hint.
Yeah, thanks for sharing. By the way, I shared a link to an article about the anti-procrastination cafe. Maybe you find it interesting. It's about, so you go there and you tell the staff what you need to accomplish, and then they take care by checking in every hour, and they will only let you go once you're finished.
Yeah, that's great. Much needed. Because
okay, so the time is up. Thanks everybody for joining in during your lunch break. Thanks again, Mahnoor, for sharing your nice insights and from your experience. And yeah, have a nice day and a nice weekend, everybody.
yeah, thank you. It was great talking to you all. Have a nice day and a nice weekend. Thank you so much. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye.